I had always trusted my wife, Hina, for years. We had shared a life built on routines, mutual understanding, and the kind of companionship that grows quietly over time. I never imagined that the trust I placed in her could be broken by something so blatant, so audacious, and so calculated. It started innocuously enough, a message, a hint, a fleeting doubt, but the revelation that followed would shake the foundations of my life. It was a Thursday evening when my phone buzzed with a notification. Hina had received a message from an unknown number, and the content shocked me instantly. The message contained a photo one that was intimate, unmistakably depicting Hina with another man. My heart pounded, my stomach turned, and a cold weight settled over me. I stared at the image, unable to reconcile the woman I loved with the betrayal in front of me. When I confronted her, her response was immediate, defensive, and absurd. "It's a I," she claimed, her voice laced with forced calm. "It's not real. Someone made it as a joke. It's not me. You have nothing to worry about." At first, I wanted to believe her, to give her the benefit of the doubt, but something about her demeanor didn't match her words. She was too nervous, too defensive, too rehearsed. I could feel the truth hidden beneath layers of excuses and fear. And I knew that if this was a lie, it was a betrayal far deeper than a simple act of infidelity. I decided to investigate quietly, gathering evidence, analyzing timestamps, and tracing the photo's origins. I contacted people who might have insight, checked digital footprints, and compared details in the image with reality. Every small piece of evidence pointed toward the undeniable conclusion: the photo was real. Hina had been unfaithful, and her attempt to dismiss it as I generated was nothing more than a desperate cover-up. I confronted her again, this time with the proof laid bare. I showed her metadata, timestamps, and cross-referenced details that only a real photograph could contain. Her eyes widened, and for a moment, the confident facade she had maintained crumbled. I can explain," she stammered, but the words were weak, unconvincing, and meaningless in the face of irrefutable evidence. The betrayal was not just personal, it was public, digital, and undeniable. I realized that exposure was necessary, not out of malice, but to hold her accountable for her deception. The digital age leaves traces, and she had underestimated both technology and my resolve. The photo, once dismissed as fake, became the key to revealing the truth she had tried so desperately to hide. I decided to take measured steps, exposing the betrayal carefully. I began by confronting her privately, recording her admission and reactions. Every defensive argument, every attempt at manipulation, every feigned surprise was documented. Then I shared the proof selectively with trusted friends and family, ensuring that the truth could not be ignored or dismissed. The reaction was immediate. Shock, disbelief, and a mixture of anger and sympathy rippled through those who had trusted her as much as I had. Hina tried to justify her actions, claiming it was a moment of weakness, that she had been lonely, that she hadn't meant for it to happen. But the evidence was relentless, logical, and undeniable. The digital trace could not lie, and her own reactions betrayed more than any words ever could. The narrative she had attempted to control shattered under the weight of proof, leaving her exposed in ways that words alone could not achieve. The process of exposure was not about revenge, it was about reclaiming agency and clarity. I had been deceived, yes, but the truth now empowered me to confront the betrayal without resorting to anger alone. The calm, calculated exposure left Hina powerless, and it forced her to confront the reality she had tried to manipulate. Over the following days, the fallout was significant. Social circles, professional contacts, and mutual acquaintances became aware of the deception, not through rumor, but through undeniable evidence. Hina faced the consequences of both her betrayal and her attempt to mislead me. Her credibility, trustworthiness, and personal integrity were called into question, and she had no room to maneuver. The I excuse that she had relied upon so heavily became a symbol of her deceit, a futile attempt to rewrite reality that failed spectacularly. I, meanwhile, felt a strange mix of vindication and sorrow. Betrayal leaves scars, not just for the betrayed, but for the betrayer as well. I have lost trust, intimacy, and the vision of the life I thought we were building together. Yet, I also gained clarity, evidence, and the power to confront deception without losing composure. The lesson was profound. Attempts to obscure truth with lies, especially in the digital age, are often futile when faced with diligence, reason, and verification. Hina attempted to reconcile, to plead, and to negotiate, but the window had closed. Trust, once broken, cannot be reconstructed with words alone. Exposure had revealed the full scope of the betrayal, and the consequences were unavoidable. The AI excuse, once a shield, had become the emblem of her failure, highlighting not just infidelity but dishonesty and manipulation. Reflecting on the experience, I understood that betrayal is rarely simple. It is layered with deception, rationalization, and attempts to manipulate perception. The moment she tried to dismiss a real act of infidelity as artificial intelligence, she revealed not just the act itself, but her willingness to distort reality to escape accountability. Confronting that requires patience, evidence, and calm resolve, not impulsive anger or reactionary emotion. By proving the photo was real and exposing her actions, I reclaimed control of the narrative. I demonstrated that deception, especially digital deception, cannot withstand scrutiny. Hina's attempt to rewrite reality failed, leaving her to face the consequences fully. The exposure also served as a cautionary tale about trust, technology, and the boundaries of integrity. In an age where digital manipulation is possible, accountability is still enforceable through evidence, observation, and meticulous documentation. Betrayal can be hidden temporarily, but truth has a way of asserting itself when diligence meets resolve. Ultimately, I emerged from the situation with clarity. The betrayal had shattered illusions, but it had also reinforced the importance of evidence, patience, and strategic confrontation. Hina's attempt to disguise reality as I failed, and in its failure, it revealed the depth of the deception and the strength required to confront it. In the aftermath, I understood that betrayal is devastating, but exposure, clarity, and measured action are far more powerful than anger alone. By proving the photo real and confronting the lie, I ensured accountability, revealed truth, and reclaimed agency over my life and my story. Hina had attempted to manipulate reality, but the evidence spoke louder than her words ever could, leaving the truth clear and undeniable for everyone to see. The lesson is simple yet profound. Deception may be cunning, but truth, once revealed, cannot be denied. And sometimes calm, calculated exposure is the most devastating form of justice.